What's up guys, it's the Cheapster here, and today I'm going to be talking about 10 cheap Christmas date ideas. This list isn't in any particular order, but starting with number one is to just drive around and find Christmas lights. Maybe you know of an area in your city that has the best Christmas lights. Maybe it's a certain neighborhood that really just puts on a good light show. Maybe you don't know that, and that's the point. You can go out and you can try to find the best place to find lights, Christmas lights. Maybe it's your neighborhood. Maybe it's your house. But you can also listen to some Christmas music. You can make your own playlists or just throw on one of the 5 million stations that are playing only Christmas music right now during Christmas time. And a twist that you can do on this is to make it a scavenger hunt. So before you ever go out, you can make a list of things you want to go find. Like maybe you want to find an inflatable snowman, or you want to find Santa on somebody's roof. Just make a list of things you're trying to find and then go out and try to find these and check them off your list. Makes it kind of fun. Number two, another cheap thing you can do is just go tubing or sledding at a hill that you know of nearby. Every place has some type of hill. I grew up in Ohio. We are known for flatness in Columbus, Ohio. There's even hills there. So you can always find a hill. And maybe you're in an area that's not snowy and stuff. Still doesn't mean you can't go tubing and sledding, because you can still find a grassy hill and slide down it and pretend you're in the snow, right? But yeah, this can be a really cheap way to do it because, first off, you can go buy a tube or a sled, and those can be pretty cheap anyway at a place like Walmart or something, or maybe you can order ahead of time on Amazon, but they're all pretty cheap in general anyway. But you can also just use random things. You can use cardboard sometimes. It won't last super long, but you can use cardboard to go down snowy hills. You can use the lids of like totes and stuff. That might be destroyed by the end of it. A lot of these things that are not actually tubes or sleds might be destroyed by the end, but just think outside the box. There's lots of things. If it slides, it's a sled. You can use it. And then number three on the list is something that actually can go with that, and that's to have a snowman building contest. That's something you can do with a person or a group of people, and then you could either use the group to vote on things, but if it's just you and another person, you could take pictures and send it over a group chat and have everybody vote on it and see who wins. And something else you can do during that time is probably have a snowball fight. And actually, if you lose, you might want to have a snowball fight anyway.
Because you might want to take some aggression out on that person for beating you.
But the snowman building contest can be pretty fun too, because you could use random things. This is something that you could even go to Goodwill ahead of time and buy scarves or clothes for it, or the grocery store, and you could buy, you got to get the carrot nose or whatever it is. You can mix it up and make it whatever you want. But you're trying to win at the snowman building contest, so there's lots of things out there you can do to try to make your snowman the best. So number four on the list is one that's usually completely free, and that is just to go to a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Usually a city or town or anything nearby is going to have something like that, and it's usually almost always going to be free. I did live in New York City for a time, and I think it did cost money to see the Rockefeller tree go up, but that's New York City, so that's a little bit different. But most of the time, it's just going to be free, and if it's not free in your city for some reason, I'm sure there's going to be a town nearby that's going to do it free, or it can't cost that much to go to it. So just check that out in your area. It can be a fun thing to do, go, and usually they're going to have something like Christmas carol singing, or just a whole bunch of other fun things. Sometimes they'll give you free hot chocolate. Number five on the list is also something that sometimes could be free, but usually it's going to cost a little bit of money, and that's just going ice skating. Usually a downtown, if it's cold enough and the area you're at, is going to have some type of ice skating if it's a big enough downtown. Even the smaller downtowns have ice skating a lot of times. So that's just something you can go to. Usually it's not going to be too much. Again, in New York City when I lived there, it was like $30 or something to go ice skating at the Rockefeller, which is crazy, and I would not do that. I think it even costs more to get the skates. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it was very expensive. I know that. I was not going to do it. But I know lots of little cities and towns and stuff, or even bigger cities and towns, have it for decently cheap that you can go have some fun ice skating. And a tip here with ice skating is maybe it's not as cheap all the time, but usually ice skating is going to have a day where it's cheaper for some reason. I know a city by me actually does a can drive, so if you bring in 2 cans, you get to go ice skating for free. So you can get pretty cheap cans. I know at Aldi you can get certain cans for like 25 cents, so that's only like 50 cents to go ice skating. So that's a pretty great deal, so you could look around for that. Number six is something that I have been doing pretty much my whole life. It's been a tradition for Christmas, and that is to make Christmas cookies. So that could be 2 different things. You could either just go out and buy like a package of cookies and then frost them and put sprinkles on them or whatever you want to do. But you could also make them from scratch and then get like shapes that cut out. And I loved doing that as a kid. I used to cut out little like reindeer heads and angels and things like that, and then we'd make them, and they'd always look a little ugly when we were done, but it was still pretty fun. And then we'd ice them and do some sprinkles and things like that, and then you get to eat them at the end, which is the best part. So it was always a fun thing. It really doesn't cost much to do that, and it takes some time. So it's a fun thing to do. So try that. Number 7 is also a pretty big favorite of mine, and that is to have a Christmas movie marathon. I have so many Christmas movies I have to watch. The 25 days of Christmas is not even enough to put all my movies into the time. So usually I'm watching Christmas movies after Christmas, but that's okay. But yeah, having a Christmas movie marathon is pretty fun. You can just sit down and watch the movies. They can be crappy movies too. They could be Hallmark movies. My wife loves to watch the Hallmark movies.
Sometimes I like to watch them.
But it can be really fun. And a fun twist on this too is to go to the dollar store or a Walmart or something and just get cheap, fun little Christmas snacks. So I know you can get like Christmas popcorn, and there's just a whole bunch of things you can get, like some fun Christmas snacks, whatever's your favorite. I know most candies even do Christmas type of things, like M&Ms. I think they just do like green and red M&Ms and stuff. So there's always usually these little like Christmas takes on candies and stuff. So you can go get that and then have some fun eating that stuff while you watch your movies. Number 8 is a pretty cool one, and that's to make specialty hot chocolate. So you can go out and buy ingredients. Hot chocolate's usually pretty cheap, but you could buy, maybe you want to buy your own chocolate to melt to make hot chocolate, milk, and whatever it is, whatever type of recipe you want to make your specialty hot chocolate. You could put candy canes in it. I actually went to this place once that had like a hot chocolate bar with a whole bunch of different things that you could put into it, and it was just really fun. It was super cool to be able to like make your own. So I was thinking, yeah, that would be a great thing to do at home for very cheap, is to just make your own specialty hot chocolate. And a fun twist on this is you can make it
Boozy. So this is
something that I just started doing about a couple years ago. I never even thought about this, but there's like peppermint vodka, and there's chocolate whipped vodka. Usually vodka is a pretty good one that can go in that, but you could also make hot cider and you can put stuff in that. There's eggnog and things like that, so those could be outside of the hot chocolate. Maybe you don't like hot chocolate. There's certain things you could do to make like specialty hot cider or specialty eggnog, or whatever it is you want to do. Number 9 on the list is something that you can do for pretty cheap or a little bit more, and that's to build your own gingerbread house. Usually you can buy kits that are maybe around like $10 that come with everything you would need, and they're pretty easy. So if you're not somebody who wants to make stuff from scratch, you could just buy a kit like that and make it. But if you do want to make stuff from scratch, it's going to be pretty cheap to just make things, or you could buy the graham crackers. You don't even have to make the things from scratch. You could make your own kit by just buying graham crackers and maybe like marshmallow cream or candy, and whatever else you need to do to make it. That can be pretty cheap, and then at the end of all of it, you get to eat it. So that's just another part of it that's fun. Number 10 is something that I just did for the first time last year, and that is to make your own ugly Christmas sweater. We actually just started an annual ugly Christmas sweater competition. That was really fun. Let me show you a picture here of what mine was. Yeah. That's the sweater I made. But it was really fun, and honestly, it was super cheap. I don't even know if I spent $10, and 4 of it was probably on the sweater itself from Goodwill. But most of the things I got were just random things from Goodwill, or things I found laying around the house, or from cheap craft stores. There's just so much out there that you can do for really below $10 to make a sweater. And ugly Christmas sweaters can get crazy today. I know I've seen ones that are like $60 and stuff. So being able to just make your own, and honestly, these are going to be way more wacky than what you could just buy. So usually if you're going to a competition, then you're probably going to win if you make your own usually. So it's just a fun thing to do. Try it out if you've never made your own ugly Christmas sweater. Stop into a Goodwill or a thrift store or something and just think outside the box. Try to figure out like what you could do to make your sweater the best. Last year I even found a Christmas hat at Goodwill, and then a toy that danced while it sang a Christmas song, and I actually took the components out of the toy and put it in the hat. So I had a button on my hat that I could press, and it would make my hat dance and sing a song. So that was super cool. I think that only cost me like $3 to do that. So it's just really cool what you can do with the stuff at the thrift stores. Alright guys, so that's my list of 10 cheap Christmas time date ideas. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully those are some good date ideas for you. I know my wife and I like to do a lot of these different date ideas around Christmas time because they're cheap and it's fun to do. Sometimes the cheaper things are actually more fun. It's fun to think outside the box and try to find ways to be cheap instead of just, going out to a restaurant and spending a bunch of money. And that can be fun too, but, trying to do these cheaper things can really make the memories a lot more memorable.
Yeah, that sounds smart.
Thank you guys for watching, and do the cheapest thing you can today, which is to tap on that like button. And remember to subscribe to the channel. I do 2 videos a week of just fun, cheap ways to save money. And Merry Christmas, everybody. And remember, stay cheap.
Merry Christmas. You still haven't subscribed? Oh my god, come on, what are you waiting for?